is Mia, also known as Minnie, and today we're going to be showing you guys how to make a Puerto Rican or Latino Hispanic dish, because Puerto Ricans are not the only ones who make them, and they are called, what are we making?
Pastelillos.
Not pastelillos, we're making alcapurrias. Alcapurrias are basically...
We make it
Alcapurrias. And if you're wondering what in the world is an alcapurria is a fritter, which is stuffed with usually ground meat. And today we're using TBP. You could also use vegan grounds. And the outside layer is made from green bananas and taro root. So let's get veggie. All right, guys, let's get started. So we're gonna be adding 1 cup of vegetable stock into a pan. You could also use a saucepan or a little pot or whatever. And we're just gonna be making the broth for our TVP. We're also gonna be adding in 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of Sazon, and I'm using homemade Sazon. I'll actually write the recipe for the Sazon down below. And we're also going to be adding a pinch of adobo, just a little pinch. And this is to taste. This is like the salt of your dish or of your TVP. So now that it's boiling, we're going to go ahead and add our TVP, and we're just going to mix. A TVP is textured vegetable protein. And we're just going to mix it in with the liquid just to make sure everything gets nice and covered. And we're going to cover this up for 5 minutes with the heat off, just so that our TVP could get nice and rehydrated. Next, I want to show you guys what you're going to be needing to blend up together for our masa, or our the outside of our fritter, what's going to actually make our fritter. We have 1 plantain. This thing is huge. Doesn't have to be this big. 1 plantain, green plantain, not a yellow plantain, because that will be sweet, and that's not what we want for this recipe. Also, don't confuse a green plantain, it's okay, with a green banana, because this is not the same thing. But you will also be needing green bananas. So I have 6 green bananas, and these are cooking green bananas. And we'll also be needing 1 taro root, and this is, I want to say, is about a pound and a half of taro root, and which is also called yautía. And this is the lila, which is like lilac or pink or whatever. You could also use white. And next, I'm just gonna go ahead and peel everything. So watch your hands, don't put your hands in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel everything. Here's a quick tip. If you want to be able to peel your green bananas really easily, you could actually just like cut the ends off, cut them in half, and then you could actually toss your green banana into hot water. It doesn't have to be boiling water. It could be like just hot tap water. And you just let it sit in there for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then the peeling will be a lot easier.
Tastes good, right? Taste it.
No, you don't eat that like that.
I taste it, and it was so yummy.
You're not supposed to eat it like that.
Why?
So the way I peel my green bananas is I just cut it in half, cut the ends off, and I just slice, make a little slit just on the skin, not on the actual like plantain or I'm sorry, the banana. And then you just sort of just jimmy the banana under the skin, so that, or under the peel, so that the peel just comes right off. And then you just kind of have to keep working your finger through the peel to get it all off. And we're just gonna peel the plantains the same way. And for the taro root, I'm just gonna peel it using a potato peeler. So we just finished peeling all of our veggies here, And next I'm just gonna cut everything into sizes just so it could fit, or pieces that are small enough for my blender. And we're just gonna toss everything in there. And I actually rinsed off our green bananas, our plantain, and our taro root after I finished peeling everything. Just blend this up until it becomes a smooth, like, puree. At this point, I'm just adding the second batch of our mixture that has already been nice and blended up. And we're just gonna mix this together. Just mix all of our masa together. And we're gonna add our seasoning. And we have 2 teaspoons of adobo. We have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of sazon. And this is, again, the homemade sazon. And we're gonna mix all those flavors around. And once this is all mixed up, you can taste it. And if you feel like you need a little more salt, you can add a little more adobo. Now I'm gonna place my mixture into the freezer for 20 to 30 minutes, just so that our mixture here can kind of firm up a little bit and it'll be easier to cook later on. You could also, if you don't want to do the freezer and you have a little spare time, you can put it in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours, but I like to put it in the freezer because it's faster. And also, if you made alcapurrias before and you feel confident that they won't break up on you, you don't have to place them in the freezer, but this is just a step, an extra step that I would recommend, just so that they don't break up on you. So I just took our batter out of the freezer. I had it in there for about half an hour, maybe a little bit more. And next I'm gonna be taking about 1/4 cup of the mixture and placing it onto wax paper. Oh, there's one thing I forgot. Onto the wax paper. Even though the wax paper is waxy, I add a spray of just cooking oil, just so that this doesn't stick when we try to transfer it into our pan. So again, 1/4 cup of our batter or our mixture, and then I'm gonna just smear it around. Just make like a little rectangle or square. And then we're gonna take a teaspoon or a spoonful of our TBP, which we have rehydrated. You could also use vegan grounds. I actually prefer the grounds over TBP, but this is what I have on hand, so I just went with this. And next, we're just gonna fold over our wax paper, and then on the edge, I'm just kind of like squishing the edge, kind of like sealing it together like that, and I kind of just broke the wax paper, so just be careful. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the edges. This one's a little messy. The first one usually is. And then you're gonna peel back the paper, and this is your first alcapurria. I'm gonna make a nicer one here for you guys. Again, spraying a little bit of oil onto my wax paper. This is not like the cleanest job. It's a little messy, but the end result is worth it. That one came out a little too big because I'm actually using my 1/2 cup and then just kind of eyeballing it to 1/4 cup, but you do want it to be 1/4 cup of your mixture. So you're gonna go ahead and spread that again to form like a little rectangle. Try to keep it away from the edge. Again, we're gonna add our filling into the center. And you could do beans or whatever you like in the middle. And then again, fold it over, and with the edge, just kind of get that edge close. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the corners to form our alcapurria. And then we're gonna lift the wax paper, and there we have it. And if it kind of like gets a little undone, just push it back on there, the help of the spatula. Okay, so you want to get your oil nice and hot to fry it. So you're just gonna test your oil by adding or tossing in a little bit of the batter, and if it floats, you're ready to go. And we're gonna go ahead and toss in our alcapurria. You have to do this pretty quickly when you're tossing it in because it can break up on you, which is why we chilled our batter. I'm going to go ahead and add another one in. Just be careful. Whoops. Still works. And I actually worked on a baked recipe for this. I wanted to tell you guys the option to do this baked, but apparently there's really no good way to bake these, because you can bake these, but it will not turn out good. They just come out looking kind of ashy and just blah. So I wouldn't recommend this. If you don't want to fry it, just don't even make these, because if you try to bake these, they'll come out dry and just kind of like papery, weird. So sorry for you guys who would like to bake this recipe, but some things you just can't bake, I guess. Alright guys, so it's time for the taste test cam, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yum, like it's the first time I've tried it, because the point was for me to try it on camera, but I kind of ate it. So I have this little bit left, even though I have more left, but I just want to show you and be real here. So this is what I have left, and it is super duper delicious. I absolutely love it, but you guys like to watch me eat, so I'll eat it anyways. Oh, yes. No. So good. You see me? It's so good. Two things. In my opinion, for my taste, I would love it so much better with some olive pieces inside the TBP. However, whenever I get olives, I could never keep the olives around. Same thing for pickles, because Mia loves like a briny snack, and she'll go through like a can of olives in no time. She'll keep like going at them, and so I have no olives. Also, I would prefer this instead of with TBP with vegan grounds. That's how I've made it. The first couple times I made it was with vegan grounds, the Gardein vegan grounds, but I actually couldn't find any vegan grounds this time. I went to go and check at my local supermarket. They were all out, which I wasn't upset about. It actually made me happy, because I guess the demand for vegan food has risen, which is awesome, because they always had it, and they were just completely sold out, and a bunch of the Gardein stuff were sold out. So yeah, also it would taste delicious with ketchup. Also mayo ketchup would taste delicious with it. And yeah, if you try this out, let me know what you guys think. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to share this video so other people can see how delicious vegan food could be. Also, don't forget to tag me on Instagram if you make this recipe or any of my other recipes. I would love to know what you think about it and love to see how it turned out for you. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys very soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.